Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the MetaStellar YouTube channel. My name is Maria KOROLOV. I'm the editor here at MetaStellar, and today I'm going to talk about the top 5 best free alternatives to Midjourney. So Midjourney is an AI image generator program. It's the most, I don't want to say it's the most popular, but it's the best known for its super high quality art, but it costs money. You only get 25 images free to start with. Then after that, it's between 10 and 60 bucks a month. I'm on the $30 plan because if you switch to relaxed mode, you get unlimited monthly images. So that's the one I recommend if you want to have a lot of AI art, if you want good quality images the first time out, and if you don't want to invest the time and effort in learning the kind of the professional level, Stable Diffusion, core open source things that you have to download and run on a high-end computer or in Google Colab. It's super complicated. So before we get into it, want to show you some of the things that Midjourney could do. So this is a Midjourney image for the prompt spaceship. Nothing else, just the word spaceship, no qualifiers, no added weirdness about in the style of so-and-so, this kind of frame rate, none of that stuff. This is an image for beautiful female warrior. This is an image for dragon. Nothing else, no qualifiers. Super highly detailed. The images are a couple of thousand pixels wide, and you get commercial rights on a paid plan. So the downside is, other than the price, it uses Discord server, which is a pain in the butt. So none of my top 5 recommendations use the Discord server, although there are some apps that do. I just hate it so much. I really hate it. I've been using Discord for years. I've hated it every time I've used it. Okay, so let's get into the first of my alternatives, number 5 on my list, Dreamlike. And you get 50 free images to start. And there's a kind of complicated image mechanism where you can learn additional free images. As far as I can tell, you get like 24 free images a day or something like that. It's a weird system, and you get additional images if you share with the public. Or if you participate in daily challenges or events. You get choices of 3 different AI models, 5 different aspect ratios. You can generate up to 6 images at once. You can upload a photo to use as inspiration, and lets you set negative prompts to filter out results you don't want, among other features. So this is a good one. Here's a sample image that it creates for the prompt spaceship. So not bad, right? I mean, gorgeous image. You get 25 free a day, as far as I can tell. So good deal. Downside is the images are only 640 pixels square. If you have to use it for a print kind of thing, you're going to have to use some kind of AI to upscale it. Here's the image for a beautiful female warrior. Here's the image for dragon. So again, pretty good images, almost up there with Midjourney, but they're small. Next up is a Mage Space. So you get unlimited free images, 5 different aspect ratios, choice of 2 AI models on a free plan, a little on the slow side, and you only get 1 image at a time. But the images are more than 2,000 pixels square. So great deal for the size, but it's slow and the images are ugly. So this is a default image for, again, those same exact 3 prompts: spaceship, beautiful female warrior, and dragon. You have to do prompt engineering to get good images out of this, so that your prompt becomes like a mile long with all these, art styles and themes and moods and colors and all the other stuff you have to specify, trending on ArtStation, all that stuff to get it into something that looks good. Now, there's places online that would help you create these prompts, but I figure if you don't have to, why bother when there's other platforms that are better straight off the top. So one of the next ones that we're going to go to is Playground AI. 1,000 Playground AI. There you go. 1,000 free images a day, free upscaling to over 2,000 pixels square, tons of customization options and advanced features. including quality and guidance scales, seed numbers, pre-built filters, image-to-image generation. That's where you upload an image and use it as an inspiration for your new image. And you can specify what to exclude from a picture. So you can say like no feet or no birds or no clouds or whatever. And in painting, that's where you can run an eraser over part of the image and replace it with something else. Excellent. So if it gives you a bad face, you can erase that part of the face and have it generate a bunch of new faces for you. So good job. And it also has a full picture edit. So when you can take a full picture and say, now make it snow. Excellent. I love it. It works great. And like I said, 1,000 free images a day. Good deal. So the images are, so here's a spaceship. Here's the beautiful female warrior. Here's the dragon. Not that great, kind of standard stable diffusion ones, but they do have a bunch of models that you can play with, a bunch of presets, a bunch of filters. And of course, you can do prompt engineering. All the regular stable diffusions, prompts apply. And all the tools that it has are fantastic. So, you know, it's a good deal. Next is Canva. For those of you who already use Canva for your promotional materials, like if you for websites, blog posts, social media posts, Canva has an image generator built in. If you look under apps, it's in the bottom left of the screen, and you click on text to image, or you can search for text to image, you can get it. And it's a stable diffusion basic thing. So spaceship, beautiful female warrior, dragon. So not the best images, but super convenient if you're already using Canva, and it's free. As far as I can tell, there's no limits to it. I mean, it will try to upsell you on stuff, but, you know, hey, who doesn't? All right, then we got some honorable mentions that I want to get through before we go on to the #1 best pick that I have for you. So these include Craiyon, and this was one of the first ones in the space. Super easy to use, worse quality images, even though it's the easiest to use. Then we have Runway, which is the most powerful one. And they're one of the people who created Stable Diffusion, the model behind it. They have video editing, they have in-painting. I mean, millions of features, super powerful. If you're going to have a paid web-based plan and you're a professional artist, this is the one you're going to use. But the base images are not that great. I mean, really not that great. But on the other hand, there's tons of models you can pick from, tons of themes. Of course, you can do the prompt engineering, and they also have the ability for you to create your own model based on your own pictures, all from a simple web interface. So very, very powerful tool, but you only get 25 free images to start. But the power of it is pretty amazing. So that's why I wanted to include it as a honorable mention. And finally, my last honorable mention is Blue Willow. And it's not one of my top 5 picks because it uses Discord. Discord is a pain in the butt, but its images are beautiful and they're more than 2,000 pixels square. So gorgeous, gorgeous images without any prompt engineering. This is beautiful female warrior. This is dragon. This is a spaceship. So awesome, right? But it uses a Discord server. So I'm going to switch to screen sharing for a second. So I will show you what a Discord server actually looks like. And it's like a huge pain in the butt. So I'm going to show you the Blue Willow Discord server. Okay, so share screen, screen 2, share. So this is a Discord server, and how it works is you scroll down to the bottom, you pick one of these newbie channels. They're called newbie channels in Midjourney. They're called rookie channels in Blue Willow. And you can see other people's images being generated. And then you type in your prompt. So imagine a dragon flying over a castle or whatever it is, and you can set your aspect ratio and other features. Now, meanwhile, look, other people's things are coming in. So you have to scroll back to see if you can find your own. And it's a pain to have to find out. I haven't been able to figure out how to get the search to work. It doesn't seem to like work very well for recent pictures. So yeah, so you have to like scroll around to find the one that you entered and wait for it to load. So it's super confusing interface. It's hard to figure out how to get it to work. But you can see the other images that people have created, and they're looking really, really good. So if you can figure it out, right now it's completely free. And there's the dragon flying over a castle. Look at those. Those are not bad at all. And then you can upscale any one of them. So you hit upscale 1, upscale 2, upscale 3, upscale 4 to make it bigger, or V1, V2, V3, and V4 to give variations on any particular image. And once you upscale it, you'll be able to click on it and download. Like, so here's somebody else's upscaled one. You click on open in browser, and it gives you the full giant picture that you can then download. All right. So while I have my screen sharing pulled up, another site where you can use pictures called PicFinder, and here you type in your prompt. You type in your prompt, like I just typed in dragon up here, and it shows you all the pictures other people have generated for dragon. I would not recommend using this commercially because it's not clear where these pictures come from, under what rights they're being distributed, who created them, using what prompts. I mean, you don't know any of this stuff, and the pictures are small too. So it's not the best possible deal for commercial uses. But if you're using it as an inspiration, if you want like inspiration for your own internal writing process or something else, or a D&D game you're running or whatever, this is a great source for images. This is the project Runway interface. You go to AI Magic Tools, and so you can train a portrait generator, train an animal character, and then there's a text to image one, and then you typed in your prompt like dragon, and you select how many outputs you want, and there's a bunch of options like resolution and ratio, and then you click it and it generates your image for you. Oh, that's pretty fast. So like I said, it's ugly, but there's a whole bunch of advanced settings for style and medium and mood. Craiyon, super easy. You just type it in and it gives you the images. You have to wait for ads. You have to wait for it to count down. So let's move on and come back later. This is Dreamlike art. So you go into it. You type in your prompt, like dragon, and that's it. It just generates it for you, and it's generating. So let's move on to the next one. This is Mage Space. Again, you just type in your prompt and it will start generating. Super easy to use. Playground AI. Again, you just type in your prompt, dragon, and then you can remove stuff from image, like extra claws or fifth leg or whatever. And then you hit the generate button, and you can also use image to image, models, lots of sizes, quality and scale, and there's the image it generated. And finally, here's the Canva one. So it's under apps, and it's text to image, and you can also search for text to image, and you can find it. It looks like this purple thing. And what you do is you use this and you type in dragon, and notice you have the styles and concept arts and aspect ratios, and you hit enter and it generates it. And so you have to wait for it to generate. Let's see what Craiyon came up with. So here's what Craiyon came up with for dragon. Here's what Dreamlike came up with for dragon. I mean, these are gorgeous images, but only a small sized. And this is what Mage Space came up with, and there's an enhance button so you can make it bigger. Here's the Playground AI one. So here it is, a full one. And here's what Craiyon created. And these don't barely even look like dragons. Okay. And so here's my favorite one. The number one top best, like my best recommendation is Lexica. So you would type in the prompt. There's a negative prompt thing in there. You can set your dimensions. And 640 by 640 is the one for the square preview one. Then you hit the generate button and it gives you the images pretty quickly. So and then here's the full-sized one. So that's a pretty good deal. And I like it very much. It's my top recommendation. Let me show you some other images that Lexica has. Here's a space. I'm going to stop sharing. So here's a spaceship that I created. Here's a beautiful female warrior. And here's another dragon image it made. Again, this is a simple prompt. No added extra stuff at the end of it. So I highly recommend it. So almost as good looking as Midjourney. 9 different aspect ratios. And the size of the final images, 2,560 pixel square, which is an excellent size. Downside, you only get 100 images a month. So if you only need a few images and you don't want to spend hours prompt engineering, fiddling with the prompts, trying to get something that looks good out of one of the other free stable diffusion models, Lexica has a really good image quality. And the $8 plan gives you 1,000 free images a month. If I wanted Midjourney quality and I was willing to pay a couple of bucks, $8 a month, and I didn't want to learn the Discord interface, I would use Lexica. It's just gorgeous. All right, so that's my top recommendation. If you want to see other articles that I've written about AI image generators, there's links in the description box below. Also link to our MetaStellar channel. And I also want to thank our Patreon supporters. We wouldn't exist without you. MetaStellar, by the way, is a free online magazine of speculative fiction. All the short stories are always free. We have hundreds of free short stories on the site, and we're always posting new ones. And we now have an open submission period this month that ends March 31st. So if you're a short story writer, you can submit your short story, and we pay for original fiction. And we pay for it thanks to the kind support of our Patreon contributors. So the link to that Patreon is in the description box below as well. We do accept AI-generated content, but you can't copyright AI-generated content. So you probably want to use AI to help, maybe clean up your grammar, get some suggestions for, get unstuck from writer's block, but you wouldn't want to use it to write your whole story. Same thing for these images. They are not copyrightable right now. According to the US Copyright Office, you have to do actual human work. Like, for example, modify it significantly in Photoshop before you can copyright it. That means that if you use this image on a cover, it might show up on somebody else's book cover, which is similar to how stock images work. So if you use a stock image on your book cover, somebody else might use the same stock image. With AI generated images, though, they can just generate their own image. Why steal yours? They can they type in the same prompt into Lexica and get 100 versions of this dragon to use, right? So the other thing with AI generated art, and I'm sure this will happen with text as well, is there's lawsuits by artists who are upset about their names being used for creating images or for being used in the training data sets. Stable Diffusion, the main company here, is already said that they're working on creating training data sets that are free and clear of copyrighted images or that allow artists to opt out. Meanwhile, I suggest that you do not use artist names that are copyrighted, so current living artists or recent artists, in your prompt. So just say comic book style instead of saying a style of a specific artist. And And keep an eye out for the developments in this space. There's also some companies like Shutterstock is already doing this. If you do use an artist's name in your image generation, they will pay the artist. So I think that's another great business model to watch out for. So very, very fast developing space. I'm sure I'll be updating this article soon because there's so many of these apps popping up and they're improving in quality so fast. It is amazing. A year ago, these things would have been barely even recognizable as art. And now, look, they're gorgeous. All right, everybody. I'll see you. Well, I'll see you on Friday for the Free Fridays. Yeah, every Friday we review the top 10 free science fiction and fantasy books on Amazon. So you get your weekend reading all set. So yeah, subscribe to the channel if you don't want to miss any of that stuff. Bye, everybody. And I hope you have a good week.